Chapter 15 of the Madman and the Pirate. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. This reading by Lucy Burgoyne. The Madman and the Pirate by R. M. Ballantyne. Chapter 15. And now, once again, we find ourselves in the palm grove of Ratinga Island. It is a fine autumn afternoon. The air is still as regards motion, but thrilling with the melody of merry human voices as the natives labour in the fields, and alive with the twittering of birds as they make love, quarrel, and make it up again in the bushes. Now and then a hilarious laugh bursts from a group of children, or a hymn rises from some grateful heart, for as yet there is no secular music in Ratinga. In the lagoon lies a man of war, its sails neatly furled, and its trim rigging, dark hull, and taper spars perfectly reproduced in the clear water. As the sun sank lower towards the west, our friend Ebony might have been seen slowly climbing the side of one of the neighbouring hills, with Richard Rosco, the ex-pirate, on his back. "Set me down now, my friend," said Rosco. "You are far too good to me, and let me know what it is you have to say to me. You have quite roused my curiosity by your nods and mysterious manner. Out with it now, whatever it is." The negro had placed Rosco in such a position on a ledge of rock that he could see the lagoon and the ship at anchor. The ex-pirate had by that time recovered some of his former strength, and, although there rested on his countenance an air of profound sadness, there mingled with it a hue of returning health, which none who saw him land had expected to see again. But the care of gentle hands and the power of gladsome emotions had wrought miraculously on the man, body and soul. "I's heard Massa and Cap'n Fitzroy talking about you," said the negro, crossing his arms on his chest, and regarding his questioner with a somewhat quizzical expression. "Ah, I thought so. I am wanted, eh?" "Well, yis, you's wanted, but you's not getted yet, so far as I knows." "Ah, Ebony," returned Rosco, shaking his head, "I have long expected it, and now I am prepared to meet my deserved fate like a man, I may humbly say a Christian man, thanks to God the Saviour and Zephyr the instrument. But tell me, what did the commander of the man of war say?" "What did he say? Well, I's tell you. First he hoed into Massa's house and shook hands with Missis, also with Mrs. Waroonga, what happened to be widow, and him so friendly dat he nigh shooked de bonnet off her head. Den dey talk 'bout good many tings, and after a while de cap'n turn full on Massa, and say, 'I's told Mr. Zephyr dat you's got dat William Rosco, de pirate here.' Ho, you should have seen poor Massa's face, how it grow long. I most tink it also grow a little pale, and Missis she gives a squeak, what she couldn't help, and Betsy she give a groan, and jump up, slap on hers bonnet back to de front, and begin to clear out, but de captain jump up and stop her. 'Many apologies,' says de hypocrite, 'for stopping a lady, but I don't want any alarm given. You know dat de pirate's life and forfeited in his country, so of course you'll give him up.'" "And what said Zephyr to that?" asked Rosco eagerly. "I's jest a goin' to tell you, massa. You see, I's in de back kitchen, an' de time an' heard ebery word. 'Well,' ses massa, awfully slow and unwilling like. I cannot deny that Rosco is in the island, but I do assure you, sir, that he is quite unable to do any further mischief to anyone, for and massa stop all of a sudden. "Well," says the captain, "why you not go on? Has you a description of him?" he asked. "Oh yes," says the captain, drawing out a paper and reading it. "De berry ting, as like you it was as two peas, even to de small mole on side ob you's nose. But it say nothing 'bout you's feet." Clearly he never heard of dat, and massa he noticed that. Seems to me, for he says, "Well, Cap'n Fitzgerald, it may be your duty to seize dis pirate, and deliber him up to justice, but it's no duty of mine to help you." "Oh, and as to dat," says the captain, "I'll easily find him widout your assistance. I have a party of men with me, and no one knows or even suspects the reason of my visit. But all of you who now hear me must promise not to say a word about this matter till my search is over. I believe you to be an honourable Christian, Zeppa, who cannot break his word. May these ladies be relied on?" "Dey may," says massa, in a voice of woe dat a'most made me cry. So when I heerd dat I tinks to myself, "Oh, you British hypocrite, you's not so clever as you tinks, for Ebony's got to win'ards ob you." And wid dat I slips out of de back winder and run to you's cottage, and ask if you'd like to have a ride on my back as usual, and you say yes, and now you's here, and I daresay de captain looking for you." "It is very kind of you, Ebony," said Rosco, with a deep sigh and a shake of the head. "Very kind, both of you and Zeppa, but your efforts cannot now avail me. Just consider, if the description of me possessed by Captain Fitzgerald is as faithful and minute as you say, the mere absence of my feet could not deceive him. Besides, when I am found, if the commander of the man of war asks me my name, I will not deny it. I will give myself up." "But if you do dey will hang you," said Ebony in a somewhat exasperated tone. "Even so, it is my fate, and I deserved." "But it would be murder to hang an innocent man what's been reformed, and don't mean for to do no more mischief. Not only so, but can't." "I fear you won't get the broken law to look at it in that light, Ebony." "Broken law! What does I care for de broken law? But tell me, massa, have you make up you's mind to give yourself up?" "I have," returned Rosco sadly. "Quite sure and sartain?" "Quite," returned Rosco, with a faint smile at the poor negro's persistency. "Well den, you come and have a last ride on my back. Surely you no can refuse so small a favour to dis yar black hoss what's carried you so often afore you die?" "Of course not, my poor fellow, but to what purpose? Of what use will it be to delay matters? It will only prolong the captain's search needlessly." "Oh, never mind. Dere's good lots of huts in de place to keep de hypocrite goin'. Plenty ob time for a last little ride. Besides, I want you to see a place I diskiver not long ago. Most curious place you never see." "Come along, then," said Rosco, thinking it right to humour one who had been more like a brother than a servant to him during his long illness. "Stoop down. Now, then, heave." In a twinkling Rosco was on the back of his black horse, which carried him a considerable distance in among the hills. "Ah, Ebony," said the rider at last, "I feel sure you are deceiving me, that you hope to conceal me here, but it is of no use, I tell you, for I won't remain concealed." "No, massa.